Hi everyone, my name is Aneta and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll share with you a painting that was really hard to make. I started the sketch back in April only to finish the entire painting in the middle of May. The reason is that it didn't go well at first. After some struggles I had, I was convinced it wasn't meant to be, but I gave it another chance and slowly it became the painting that you saw at the beginning of this video. Here's the story of the process. So I started as usual. Originally this was supposed to be an ink/watercolor project, but as you know by now, I'm someone who loves mixing different media in search of that satisfying effect. However, with this one, I felt completely stuck. I didn't like it. I liked the concept, but I didn't like the underneath sketch. I feel like I kinda rushed through it as well. I dedicated plenty of time to that frame, only to make a mess at the very end while mixing gouache with some acrylic golden paint. It didn't make any sense. I don't know, maybe I wasn't in the right mood. So I stopped, I scraped the old piece and I made a new, more accurate sketch on a hot press paper this time, which actually came out better from the first one. I found some relaxing music and I just let everything flow. When I think about my older drawings, I notice that the composition is pretty much static. There is usually a character as a focal point, and in the past I would often add some elements that I considered cool or pleasing, but they didn't mean much. They were purely decorative. For instance, a girl among books or a girl in a chamber with plenty of fabric. For this concept, I decided to paint a frame formed by two mermaids. By the way, I would love to have a mirror like that in real life, with a character who is a water spirit who also holds a candle, which is the opposite of water, but also represents hope, while two waterfalls are the energy that is being released. Obviously, I was trying to repeat the whole watercolor/ink part, then add some gouache, but again, I didn't like it that much. The effect felt really dull and it was missing some interesting contrast, something that could lead the eye to the focal point. So I decided to use my new Acryla gouache, which you'll see in a moment. I was debating whether to get them or not for a very long time, mainly because of their price. A small set of 12 costs a fortune on the Italian Amazon. However, luckily, I found out that they were selling them in Poland through an art supply shop, and I didn't have to buy a complete set. I was free to choose the colors I wanted. That was back in September when I went to visit my family, and guess what? I got them and I left them at my parents' house, only to retrieve them in April. So yeah, back in September, once I came home, I was so angry with myself. Not only I struggled to find them, but once I did, I didn't bring them with me. It was worth waiting though. I used a mint green shade and it gave that contrast I was hoping to get. And I also enjoyed working with these paints. The consistency is creamy. Also, the coverage is way better compared to the normal gouache I'm using, and some colors are, well, difficult if not impossible to get while mixing standard colors, like the mentioned mint green or some other shades of blue that I used for this piece as well. I'm glad I got them, and I am super careful about not squeezing a large amount on my palette. progress with this piece, and then one day when I was looking for some inspiration, I quote-unquote discovered the art of Benjamin Lacombe. I said quote-unquote because I knew him, yet I never gave his art a proper look. So one evening I was browsing through his art. I fell in love, of course, and I found out that he works mainly with gouache and oils. He would make few layers of gouache and varnish and then add oils to his paintings to achieve that effect of depth. That was my aha moment. I generally appreciate every kind of media, both traditional and digital. And when I first discovered digital art, I wanted to do only that. I felt like there were more possibilities and everything looked better. And yeah, I learned a lot for sure, but lately, and by lately I mean like 2 years ago, I got back to traditional art and I rediscovered the beauty of it. There is something about those art tools, the sound of graphite scratching the paper, and it might be tedious at times, but I feel like traditional art has more value. I guess my goal right now is to make art that will look as good, and by good I mean the colors, the saturation, as what I make digitally. What I learned after that evening of appreciating the art of Benjamin Lacombe, that for this type of art I can use gouache from the very beginning, put a tiny layer of varnish and finish it with oil paint. And this is what happened here. Now, I'm not going to describe what I did exactly, but if any of you knows how this technique works, please help me out and leave a comment. I really appreciate that. There were moments when I had to make adjustments. There was a moment when I was convinced I would finish this painting and then I exaggerated with the amount of varnish. There were moments when I felt like being very sloppy or the final effect was too distracting, especially in the background. So I had to make few paint overs, and little by little I reached a point where I could finally consider this painting finished. And I also fell in love with that varnish effect. I feel like it made this piece completed. Now I know there are many artists who don't like this effect. This is a matter of personal taste, and maybe I'll change my mind one day. You never know, but so far I'm happy that I found a new path in my process for now. And more than anything, I'm happy I saved this piece. Once I was done, I made some adjustments for the digital version. Mainly I adjusted one of the mermaids that was supposed to be symmetrical, but it didn't go as planned, and I added some minor adjustments overall. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I added this painting as a print to my INPRNT shop, so if you like it and you kindly wish to support me, you'll find a link in the description below. I hope you're all staying well, and I'll see you in my next video. Ciao!